Hi guys, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Welcome back to your reading class. Let's go ahead and get started. You'll see on the Schoology page, things might look just a tad different. The only things that I really would like to point out to you as far as changes are Miss Holt's book of the day and the way that I've formatted the folders. So Miss Holt's book of the day was a link that she was putting out every single day, a new book. But now she has changed it to where she's just adding a new slide every single day to the same link. So I'm going to leave that link out of all the folders so that it sticks out to you. And then you'll be able to see her books of the day from a day to day and be able to go back and look too, which I think is really nice. So just wanted you guys to know to be looking for that. Oops, I did not mean to click that. And then when we look at the folders, you'll see instead of just one date, March 24th, March 26th, it now says two dates at the same time. That is because I have both my Purple Day and Silver Day classes at the exact same place now. And so I'm only going to be putting out one video and lesson instead of an individual lesson for Purple Day and an individual lesson for Silver. So don't feel like there are two lessons in one here. It's the same lesson. I'm just marking it 30, 31, depending on which day you have this class. So other than that, pretty much everything's the same. Okay, today's checklist. Let's dive in. We are starting with the daily video, nothing new there. And then we will move on to reading for 10 minutes. So keep this up. Next class, you will have your first reading check-in. So make sure you are keeping up on your reading, and that next class you will have a good amount of reading to reflect on. So go ahead and pause this video right now and get out your book, stop everything you're doing, and just read for 10 minutes. Set a timer. Ready, go. All right, and when you come back to us, we are going to dive into today's lesson. So today's lesson, we've got two parts, a level up tutorial and reflection, and then a challenge identifying parts of an argument. So the level up tutorial, let's go to our Schoology page here. It is called Elements of an Argument. You guys should be familiar with level up tutorials. We've done them a couple times in my class, but they're really interactive, and you guys know that you have to do some serious clicking around to be able to get to everything that you're supposed to get to. You also might want earbuds because it talks. But just don't forget there's lots of things to be clicking on throughout. But all of this, see, lots of things to click on. Don't forget to be clicking on them, because if you don't, you're definitely missing information. All of this will go over a couple things that we have, I think, a couple times. So just giving you one more kind of opportunity to digest this information: argument, claim, support, evidence, warrant, those kinds of things. I'm hoping you're becoming more familiar with. And then you'll also see there's a few things in here that were on your vocab list, but maybe you don't quite understand, and we're going to be diving into more so. So this gives you an opportunity to review a little and maybe be a little bit more introduced to some other ideas or elements of argument. So you're going to interact with this level up tutorial, and then there's an assignment called level up reflection. So as you go through that tutorial, I would actually recommend to have this reflection up at the same time. Do a split screen, stop in the middle of your tutorial, and type in as you go through it. Because this first one, you'll see, select one of the questions where you are required to interact, and then snip your work and discuss what you learned. So you'll paste an answer there. This talks about a vocab term that you learned and now have a better understanding of. An example during the tutorial that helped you understand better. Summarize what you learned during the tutorial. Okay, so that's for the actual tutorial portion, and then there is always that practice button or practice tab on the tutorial as well. I want you to take the quiz, snip your score, and then the second question asks you for things that you got wrong or maybe had to answer more than once, and reflect what you may have done wrong. Okay. So you've got a little bit of activity to do alongside the level up tutorial. Definitely have them both open at the same time. And then we're moving on to the challenge, identifying parts of an argument. So this looks similar to what you did last class. Similar, but not quite the same. Last class, you can see I kind of walk you through this here. Last class, I had you look at a series of articles and identify which highlighted lines belong to which side and part, claim, warrant, or evidence of an argument. I have looked through those. You guys did a really good job with this, so I'm feeling confident that you guys are ready for an added challenge. Now we have an added level of challenge. Read through this article. I have this thing linked a bajillion times. It's not the same article, or it's not a different article. It's the same. I just link it over and over. Every time I said this article or the article, I just linked it just for your convenience to be all over the place. So I hope that doesn't confuse you. So you'll see this article debating the payment of college athletes. So this was written like in May of last year when paying college athletes was a really hot topic at the time, as certain universities were getting in trouble for bending the rules of the NCAA. And I still think it's a relevant topic to be discussing and deciding where you might want to stand on the issue. Unlike last time when you had to decide which highlighted lines were which, there are no highlighted lines on this one. So you're going to read through the article and decide which lines relate to which. So you're still going to see a pro-con side, a pro side, and a con side, and you're going to have to find a claim, a piece of evidence, and a warrant represented in the article. Let's go ahead and take a look at the article and we can do the claim together just so you see what it's supposed to look like. Again, I've got it linked all over the place. Okay, so I'm a big skimmer. I don't know about you guys, but skimming is a life skill that I think is important. Let's see, it was February, Duke and UNC, Zion Williamson. But should they be allowed to be paid? Okay, so that sounds like one big introduction. We got a nice picture here of crazy Duke fans. Looks like fun. A big business, college sports, particularly basketball and football. I'm hoping you guys are pulling up this article as well and are kind of doing the same process that I'm doing right now, skimming, and then maybe pull up that identifying, pause this video, pull up that identifying challenge round so that you can fill in with me just like we did last time. So if these teams bring in so much money, why don't the players get any of it? Not cheap. The thing is, colleges don't just make a huge amount of money, they also spend. Stadiums not cheap. Football programs make profit. Some say that forcing schools to pay athletes could do more harm than good. I think we have a claim there. So I'm seeing a very firm line with this one. Some say that forcing schools to pay athletes could do more harm than good. If athletes were paid, many schools might not be able to fund. And I'm thinking we might have another piece of argument there. And then as we go on, we might see a little bit more information. Okay, so with this line, I'm seeing a firm stance on this is the side that we're going to discuss next. Some say that forcing schools to pay athletes could do more harm than good. So that's telling me they're talking pro side or con side of paying athletes. Think about it for a second. Decide which one you think. Okay, I think they're talking about the con side, saying why they shouldn't pay college athletes. It could do more harm than good. So I'm going to take this line right here. The following lines that are against the payment of college athletes. The claim, I believe, is some say that forcing schools to pay athletes. So I'm going to type this over here. I'm actually going to put this in quotes because I'm not changing anything. Don't want to plagiarize. Some say that, oh gosh, I already forgot. Forcing schools to pay athletes could do more harm than good. Forcing schools to pay athletes could do more harm than good. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do is you want to find a warrant. a stance or a point that they're going to make that relates to doing more harm than good for student athletes, and then a specific like fact or statistic, or it could be that anecdotal evidence that I talked about, a short story or personal experience that supports it. And then you want to find a claim that is in favor of paying college athletes, a piece of evidence, and a reasoning or a point, a warrant that supports that claim. So that is your challenge round. Best of luck. If you guys need any help, as always, let me know. Miss you, love you. Talk to you later.